Hi all, introducing Migrator 2.0. In this new version, we bring two new cool features. First one is pacemaker HADR support. So if our target database is an HADR, the standby node won't be broken by the load command. Second cool feature is implemented a 10-thread copy mode. This way we can grab 10 tables at a time to speed up the copy process. So what's under the hood to get this done? Well, main computer is my Ubuntu computer with a DB2 with a bunch of tables and data. Second is Oracle VirtualBox with a red hat. This is the target, and as we can see, it is the primary node on the HADR configuration. Third, it's a second VirtualBox being the standby of the HADR. And fourth is the Coda Sync for pacemaker to work properly. So if we see here another detail, those are the scripts Migrator 2.0 uses to make the copy. If we see, there is a blue folder which has a three-component name. They are the database, the schema we need to copy, and the user for granting on the target. Also, to synchronize HADR, we have created an NFS drive between both machines. That way, HADR is always able to synchronize when we use load with copy yes. Okay, let's get into the tool. Now that we are inside the tool, we have two options here. We can configure the Migrator 2.0, or we can use it to copy a schema of a database. Let's do the configuration first. Here we have all the data that is needed for the target database and the source database. So our target is the first machine of the Red Hat. So this is the path I showed earlier at the shell scripting, and the password. And here is the Ubuntu machine, also with a path for some of the script files. And we are choosing now HADR with a shared drive and the path of the drive. We save the configuration data, and we are able now to go and use the tool. Here we'll load the configuration file that we have defined. We could have more than one. So we need to say which one are we going to load. The tool now is ready, and we see in this drop-down menu that it scans the folder we put in here to search for the three-component folder type. So we choose this one. For copying, we're going to use the HADR 10-thread mode. So first we're going to get the DLL of the schema on the source machine. Once done, we see the green bar, and we can see it made a db2 look on source and bring it to target. Now, before deploying the DDL on target, there is a bit of processing we need to do. Basically, on the DDL, it might contain foreign keys or check constraints. Leaving them there will prevent us for a successful copy. So we need to split it. And now we have the DLL, the foreign keys file, and to drop them. This is done because if later we need to refresh the data, we just drop the foreign keys, repeat the copy process, and we create them. Now we are able to deploy the DLL on the target machine. First, it is doing an admit drop schema in case the schema is already created on the target. That would get rid of all what it is, and we can have a clean environment to begin to deploy the DLL from the source machine. It is going to create 105 tables, so it takes a little bit of time. Finally, it is done. We could see at the end there is a section that it will display an error or warning when creating the DLLs. No problem, it is right. Now we are able to copy the data. It will scan if there is a file of a subset of tables. If the file is not there, it will copy all the files created on the DLL, which are 105. In this case, to shorten this demonstration, there is a subset on the retry load file of only 30 tables, and that is enough to show the copying process. Main console here shows the table being copied, the thread, and the number of table. So now that all 10 threads are busy, the system waits for 15 seconds just to check it out if there is one thread free to continue doing the copy. Now that all tables of the list has been submitted to copy and there are no more tables, we need to check if all the threads had ended copying or are still in process of copying. And again, we wait again 15 seconds. Now it is done. All tables has been copied. We can check because all the logs from all threads has been put in the screen. So we could see the thread, the loading, and all commands. Now, if we need to check in here if there was a problem with the copy, that will be a little problem. So we have implemented how to check easily the copy. It's a 3 criteria that would allow us to see if the copy was okay or not. First, we check it out the delete and rejected and skipped files. Everything is on 0. Now we see if there was a type problem. That happens with DB2 version 10 with the Boolean type, that it will always give problems. And then we check the begin load, we count the begin load and number of rows. So if we began a load but it failed, this number is going to be greater than the number of rows it read. So it is okay, we can continue. Now we will see if there are any invalid views. The count is 0, so all views are valid. Now we can create the foreign keys. Perfect. And lastly, we could give all the granting to the user DB2 as RV. Of course, this granting will do 105 tables and not the subset. The subset was only for loading. In case we need to repeat some tables, that's the purpose of the file. Okay, all granting done. We have a copy ready to use. If we check here on the standby, we see that all table spaces are okay. There's nothing load pending that would happen if we couldn't use the copy yes of the load command. Well, folks, that's all. I hope you have enjoyed my work to make life easier, and bye-bye.